The second point I want to make links back to the quality criteria that we're talking about and ESG. So again, when we say strong and sustainable competitive position, we have always thought about sustainability as companies operating under a type of social license, where as a result of what they do, how they behave towards all of their stakeholders, and how they position themselves and are conducting their business across what they do, they must be operating in a sustainable way. The UN Sustainable Development Goals are a clear framework that has been agreed in order to define what kind of developmental outcomes we're looking for. They've been translated into principles of responsible investment and into other types of criteria like the UK Stewardship Code that have codified and have put them into criteria that apply to the investment management industry. And from a process since we got started of looking at sustainability and of being concerned about it over the last 18 months, we've integrated a process that now has a formal criteria for that. And so we complement the work that we do on the companies from an investment perspective and the investment reports that we write with an ESG analysis and ESG reports for all of the businesses that we invest in. And so it's very clear for us, but we think that it's important to do it ourselves. We of course look at service providers that are out there, but we believe that it is important that we do the work ourselves. Our investment analysts undertake it in parallel to the investment work that they have, because it is as integrated as it is. And we believe we must have a differentiated view on these issues. So in particular, we have a traffic light matrix that we look at when we decide about whether a company has exposure from a financial perspective, which is the point of the ESG ratings, and from the perspective of what it does, which is what is called product impact or other types of criteria. And then we also think about what the risks and what the opportunities are, because the need to be ESG compliant is also not just a risk, it's an opportunity, and it's a growth driver for many of the companies that we invest in. And likewise, we don't have direct exclusion of any particular company. We have a differentiated view, although it's very clear that we invest in some kinds of businesses and not in others. And we engage with the companies in the same way that we engage around investment topics. We engage around, in particular, economic, social, and always governance topics. And we've become signatories to both the PRI and the UK Stewardship with the obligations and responsibilities that come with them. To put this into a clearer perspective, we've laid out some of the results of what we've done. So one, we talked about this traffic light ranking that you see on the bottom left of this chart. We are doing this in terms of the criteria that are applied by SASB. So it is the impact of ESG issues on the financial performance of businesses. That's what's behind the ratings. This is not about product impact. It's about the impact on the financial performance. And for that, we have a traffic light that goes from red to green through different phases. And it also has a gray, which means there is no material impact for the industry, which is a mapping of the SASB criteria on the companies and what they do. And what you can see, and it's not a surprise, but it is good to do in the rigor that we have, that the outcome of it is that most of the companies that we invest in are in the light and the dark green area. So they have virtually no impact from ESG issues on their financial performance, and on the contrary, in many, if not most cases, we think that they are significant opportunities. And likewise, you see there are some that are yellow, and those are the issues that we then engage in. So one of the issues, and to make this more concrete, is the carbon intensity of the portfolio. It goes hand in hand with the idea of quality and sustainability. And what you can see there is that the carbon intensity of the World Stars portfolio is 70% below that of the MSCI World. And that links both things, because from a quality perspective, we're in a world that's about intellectual capital, not physical capital. We're in a world where it's about OPEX, not CAPEX. And we're in a world where it's about cash flows and not book values. But that also means that the companies that we invest in, because they're less capital intensive, because they rely less on fixed costs and less on manufacturing in terms of what they do, they also have a very significantly lower carbon footprint. And we've quantified that here to make the point.